Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not worry about the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, you'd already know that the title for tonight's show is Money or Justice? It's a question, and it revolves around the whether you are more concerned with financial affairs right now or with affairs that would call for a need for justice. And the reason why that's a question instead of supplying answers is because there are some very harsh aspects this week due to the fact that yesterday we had a full moon, a glorious exalted full moon in a fixed financial sign, Taurus. In fact, the full moon yesterday was at 1 degree of Taurus, and that was exactly conjunct Uranus, that planet of sudden surprising change and volatility, which was also at 1 degree of Taurus. The difference between those two planets is that the moon is a fast mover and it's going to move forward in the sign of Taurus, whereas Uranus, which is conjuncting that moon at 1 degree, is actually retrograde and moving backward instead. So these two aren't going to stick together, but they were yesterday. And they were facing a lot of opposition from other planets. In fact, there are now 7 planets in the fixed signs in a harsh T-cross. Last week there was only 6, and that could put a lot of pressure and tension right now on some sort of question about things and differing opinions that could lead people to have an escalation of tension instead, or an escalation of arguments. I urge you not to get in a battle royale, not to fight about anything, because not only would you lose, but you could really jeopardize your future even more this week than last week, because 70% of the planets are in conflict right now. So what we've got is that full moon in Taurus along with Uranus is opposing the sun in Scorpio. And the sun in Scorpio is conjuncting Venus in Scorpio, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So that ruler is opposing the sign it rules. That isn't too good. But there are 2 other planets in Scorpio as well, bringing a total of 4. And so later on in the sign, Mercury and Jupiter are also conjuncting each other, and that makes 4 planets in Scorpio opposing the 2 planets in Taurus. And all 6 of those planets in fixed financial signs are being harshly squared by Mars in Aquarius. Mars rules war, jealousy, hate, greed, envy, and aggression. And it's a malefic planet, and it is squaring Uranus in Taurus, which, as I said, is a planet of volatility and sudden surprising change in a financial sign. But that Mars is actually the ruler of Scorpio, and it is squaring the sign it rules because it is squaring the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter in Scorpio as well. The difference, even though these 6 planets are all in financial signs, is that Taurus rules how you make your money and what you spend it on and what you invest it in. So it's money that you've got under your own control because you're making it. Scorpio, on the other hand, rules money coming in from any other source. And so it can rule inheritance or insurance proceeds or insurance costs, and it can rule grants, because that would be money coming in from another source. It also can involve the cost of credit right now, which can be increasing. And it also involves taxes and loans and anything where money is coming from a different source, such as your own employer or a family member or a friend. And so Scorpio also rules justice and survival. Taurus instead, where the full moon was yesterday, rules the ability to provide for others. It's a sign that is ruled by Venus. So we do call Taurus the sign of the good provider. And so what's it going to be? Is your concern this week going to be more about money, or will it be more about justice? Well, that is sort of a trick question, because actually, due to this harsh T-cross in the fixed signs, there can be a huge difference of opinion right now about financial matters. or about how to handle money or invest money or just what to do with valuable assets. There could really be a tug of war about that. And so that means that some people are going to have, they're sort of going to be in the winner's circle or in the loser's circle. And particularly if they fight, they're actually going to be in the loser's circle no matter what. But right now, that full moon and Uranus in Taurus were beautifully trined, and still are, by a very strong Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Those 4 planets in the sturdy, practical earth signs are also trining the sign of Virgo. So those of you who have been very diligent, in other words, sort of hardworking, and have gone ahead and provided well for your loved ones, maybe even put away some money or invested some money for your own retirement or for some special things that you'd like to buy, and have continued to accrue a lot of experience and have continued to make very steady efforts over time, are people that are going to do well. And why is that? Well, these are times that could bring about a lot of conflict. But people who have weathered many other storms and have a lot of experience can certainly weather whatever's coming up right now. And that's why, in a sense, money could be the most important thing, certainly to them and to you. But it's just that you would have had to have a steady track record and a lot of experience, and also be willing to work very hard for you to undergo the current heightened tension and pressure that is among the planets right now, particularly the planets in fixed financial signs. However, remember, the other half of your question involves justice. And that could really be on a lot of people's minds right now. And that is because Neptune in Pisces, remember Pisces rules things that are hidden behind the scenes, is retrograde and is trining the 4 planets in Scorpio. So it's trining the Sun and Venus and Mercury and Jupiter. And those 5 planets are all trining the sign of Cancer. And so that means that there can be very strong feelings right now, the water signs rule our feelings, about the need to make sure that justice is done. And that would be to restore trust and to assure the safety not only of our homes and our families, but of our country as well. Remember, Cancer does rule America. And so the idea that with their strong feelings for a need for justice, it simply means there can be a lot of people that want to see that hidden plans and covert activities are exposed and ended, because that's what's going to be, that is what is needed to make sure that justice is done. And people who have finally had enough of lies and deceit and double standards are going to make sure that trust is restored by exposing those hidden plans or covert activities in order to make sure that justice is done. And so that is coming up. In fact, I think it can be underway right now. So when the question is, are you more concerned with money or justice? You know, it could be that you're concerned with both, and that at different times, money could be on your mind. But in your emotions, you could be feeling that, you know, the lies, the deceit, and the double standards have gone on for long enough, and none of us are going to be safe unless we can trust each other. And so these hidden plans and covert activities do have to be exposed and ended. And that could be coming up a little sooner than people think, because when Mars leaves Aquarius, remember it's sort of causing a lot of trouble right now in that fixed sign, it will go into Pisces. And then there will be no escape. And so that is what we have to look forward to. So it's good for you to understand right now, what's more important to you, the money or the justice? You'll have to figure that out. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, there are no planets once again, in any of the fire signs. So this is possibly not the time when you should strike out on your own at all, Aries, because you may not have much support. Instead, I think that, you could have your eye on something a little bit pricey right now, or you could at least have your mind on money, and that is because the full moon in Taurus, along with Uranus yesterday, were right ahead of your sun sign. And they are being very harshly opposed and squared by other planets right now. So you could have your mind on something rather expensive or pricey, or you might want to buy or sell property, or you may be looking to invest more money or sell something right now in order to purchase something that you've got your eye on. But I would say that you'd be a little bit better, even if you do have your mind on money right now, Aries, to just try to keep your mind on business instead. And that is because there are no planets in the cardinal signs except Saturn and Pluto, which are still in Capricorn and well aspected. They're trined by that full moon. And so that simply means that since they are squaring your sun sign, that you have to really concentrate on your career instead, and on your public reputation, and on living up to very high standards. And so, that could be job security for you, Aries, and that's why that is so important. Your own performance where you are. As long as it keeps improving and you're doing a stellar job, that you too can make it through a time when there could be sudden surprising changes, and that could be a change of fortune as well. So without any backup in the fire signs, I think it would be wise to just keep your mind on business, and you could think about the money, but I wouldn't risk anything right now. The financial signs are really being challenged. I'd sort of cool it on that front. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, the full moon yesterday was in your sign, and it's exalted in your sign. And an exalted planet is one that is at its very best. And so since your sign is known for being the sign of the good provider, and all earth signs are known for working very hard and sort of sticking with things, this can be a time with so much light on you, Taurus, that you could be really having your mind on money. And if you had been a person who has gained a lot of experience, who has been a good provider for their loved ones, and maybe you sort of put something away for a rainy day or your retirement, and you have gone steadily forward in your efforts despite the problems that you've encountered, then you could be doing pretty well right now. In fact, you could be recognized in the community for something you've done well, or it can be that there may be the possibility of some sort of promotion if your employer is doing well. And yet, you have to be wary of taking any financial risks right now, because 4 planets in Scorpio are opposing your sun sign, and Mars in Aquarius is squaring your sun sign, meaning there could be an unexpected upset, particularly a financial one, at any time, and you too would be vulnerable. So with so much conflict among the fixed signs, and since yours is a fixed sign, I really hope that you don't get in a fight with anybody right now, Taurus, but instead bank on a steady, good track record that you might have, because that could be looking really good right now. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time when I advise you to sort of really lay low and be very, very quiet right now. And the reason why is that yours is a mutable sign. Well, there aren't any planets in mutable signs except Neptune in Pisces, which is squaring your sun, and that means you don't know who to trust. But that's why you should keep quiet right now, Gemini. And that's because that full moon in Taurus was right behind your sun sign yesterday. And so there could be a lot of light on the background of your life and on your financial affairs. But they could be threatened by some unexpected change of fortune. You may not want people to know about that. That's why I suggest that you be really quiet right now. And it seems as if there are people that can be goading you on to be very active, because Mars in Aquarius is trining your sun. Except that Mars is causing problems among the financial signs. And that's why, if I were you, I wouldn't move too fast, and I wouldn't say too much right now. And even if you are experiencing perhaps an unexpected good fortune, financial fortune behind the scene, I wouldn't advertise that right now. Gemini, because you could make yourself a target of people who could be very jealous of you instead. And that's why, since you still don't know who to trust, and there can be jealous people around ready and eager to cause an upset, you should be really, really quiet right now and just bide your time. And don't advertise what you're doing, Gemini. Wait for a better time instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when you are, you're going to be in the right place at the right time, Cancer. And the reason why is, while the fixed signs can be undergoing duress right now, a lot of it, and pressure and tension can be heightened and escalating because people have so many different opinions about what to do with the money. Instead, that full moon and Uranus and Taurus are sextiling your sun, which means you could have an unexpected opportunity either to make a good investment, or one of your investments could turn out to be worth more than you think, so that would be good. So that's an indication that money could be coming your way. One of the indications, lucky you. Because also the Sun, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter in Cancer are all trining your sun, and so is Neptune in Pisces. Those 5 planets are trining your sun. The 2 in Taurus are sextiling your sun. Wow, are you lucky right now, Cancer? And so I think there is money coming your way one way or another, and it might even be pretty good money. And if you have your eye on something that you want to invest in, you may get the opportunity to do that, but I would say that you should just count your blessings at the moment. And it might be you, Cancer, that has your mind more on justice than on money, even though this is a good financial time for you right now. And the reason why is that there are more planets in the water signs than in the earth signs, and they're all trining your sun sign. And the water signs rule our emotions. So you could be more concerned with seeing that justice is done in order to restore trust so that we can assure that our families and homes and our country are safe. And that may be more on your mind than people realize, Cancer. And so I think that you could be instrumental in one way or another in seeing that the truth is exposed, that hidden plans and covert activities are not only exposed but ended for the good of everyone, but particularly your own home and family. So congratulations. All right, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, remember last week you could have been facing a dilemma because there were 6 planets in fixed signs all squaring and opposing your sun sign, and nothing in the fire signs to fortify your sign. Oh, Leo, this week there's 7 planets doing the same thing. So I think that you could be in a position where tension and pressure is escalating right now about among people who have very different opinions about what to do with money. And that could be spending it, that could be investing it, that could have something to do with loans or credit or debt, or hidden activities behind the scenes that when they come out would have to more or less be paid for in one way or another. So you could be facing a change in your future, Leo, and that's because Mars in Aquarius is opposing your sun sign, but there are 6 planets in the fixed signs that Mars is squaring as well, and that's because yesterday the full moon and Uranus in Taurus were squaring your sun sign, so something is a little too expensive for you right now, Leo. And then the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter in Scorpio are also squaring your sun sign, and that simply means that, you know, Leo, you need to put something on hold, or you need to postpone something, or not everything's going to fit in your budget right now, Leo. And so it would be better if you said nothing or as little as possible right now. Not only because you could jeopardize your current financial situation, but you could jeopardize your future as well. And the reason why you should say nothing, keep a very low profile, be as quiet as you can, is because the tide will turn. It's just that financial considerations for you, Leo, are in somebody else's hands, or you could be dependent on somebody else. And for that reason, you can't influence that very much right now at all. In fact, it could be threatened right now. Instead, Jupiter is coming into Sagittarius in November, and it will begin to trine your sun. And in later on in November, around the holidays, the sun will come into Sagittarius. When you finally get some support in the fire signs, that's when you can talk about something. But right now, you just need to delay, postpone, or put something off, Leo, because whatever you want is in someone else's hands, and it's not going to work at this time, but it might work later on, in just even another month or so. So give it time. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when you can be doing extremely well, particularly in your career. And the reason why is that full moon yesterday in Taurus, along with Uranus, were trining your sun sign, and also that sturdy Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are also trining your sun sign. Capricorn rules rewards earned the hard way over a long period of time, and they rule the traditional 10th house of career and of your reputation in the community. It may be, Virgo, that after a lot of steady effort on your part, no fanfare, nothing ostentatious, just doing your job day in and day out, you could be getting some sort of praise or the possibility of a promotion or some sort of recognition for a job well done. And you would certainly deserve that. And on the other hand, with that full moon in Taurus and Uranus trining your sun, you can be pleasantly surprised by an unexpected change of fortune that does work in your favor. In other words, there could be some good more money coming your way, or there could be an investment that's worth more, and that would please you as well. So I think that you are doing well in any business or career matter right now. And that could affect your long-term security as well, which could be looking pretty good, Virgo. But on the other hand, it's wise of you to remember that whatever fighting people are doing about money, they're not fighting about your money, they're fighting about theirs. And so it would be very wise of you to step back and just not say a word right now about other people's problems, because even if you're eager to help them solve their problems, you can't do it right now because there's 7 planets in fixed signs and they're not budging. So I mean, solutions are not possible for a lot of people right now, and that's why you need to just sort of stick to what you're doing and steady on, Virgo. You're doing a good job. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when I think that you can still be working really hard to meet other people's high demands, and there can be a lot of little things that you have to do, but if you don't do them now, Libra, they'll add up to big things that could overwhelm you. And you do have a lot of energy because Mars in Aquarius is trining your sun. So keep going at something, Libra. Keep working really hard right now, because there are 4 wonderful planets, including your own ruler, that are in Scorpio right ahead of your sun sign. So you might have your mind on money, but equally on justice, when really, actually, if you just keep your mind on work right now, that would sort of steady you right now. And I think that's where you should be. Just keep on with whatever you're doing, and maybe try to do it a little quicker, because there could be a little bit extra pressure on you that could favorably affect your future. That's why I'm suggesting that you really focus in on the things you need to do right now, if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time with 4 planets in your sun sign that you could be thinking of trying to bring in more money in order to spend on little things that you'd like to spend it on. Or there is the possibility that you're anticipating how much additional taxes could cost you. For instance, if you sold a good investment, you would probably owe taxes on that. Or you could be involved with money matters because your sign is a money sign, and the full moon and Uranus in Taurus yesterday were opposing your sun sign, and your own ruler, Mars in Aquarius, was squaring your sun sign. So, you know, if you have been involved in any hidden activity or covert activity behind the scenes, or you've had any hidden plan, that truth will come out, and you might have to pay for being involved in something that was somewhat secretive. But on the other hand, If you are more concerned with justice right now, you could be instrumental in exposing the truth to make sure that justice is done and trust is restored so that people can be safe. So I don't know if you've been on the side of the angels or not, but if you have been, you would be in a good spot. If you have not been, and you've been doing something behind the scenes, you will have no escape from that soon, and you will have to pay for that instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, there are no planets in the fire signs, so this isn't the time for you to jump into action, Sagittarius. This is the time for you to sit back and sort of listen to all the clamor that's going on around you, particularly about people who are very concerned either with money or with justice. I think that you should sort of sit back and be a bystander right now and observe what's going on, but do not participate in it, mainly because the pressure and tension is escalating. And if it's not your fight, why get in it? Don't do that, Sagittarius. Instead, the question pertains to you as well. What's more important now, money or justice? I think behind the scenes with you, it can certainly be both, but justice can have a higher priority for you now, Sagittarius, because those 4 planets in Scorpio are right behind your sun sign, and they're very good planets, and they're all about to come into your sign. And so this is a time that you can quietly be supportive in a really unobtrusive way about matters that deal with justice and exposing hidden plans and covert activities. But I wouldn't do a lot of commenting about that right now, Sagittarius. Just seek the truth, but don't pronounce judgment at this time until more facts are clear. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when I think that you can be rather pleased with some good news about an investment or money that is coming your way. And it could be sort of more money coming your way. And that is because yesterday the full moon and Uranus in Taurus were trining your sign where you have Saturn and Pluto. So it could be money for a job well done, or it could be that you are taking the next step in your career path and you may want to open yourself up to some new opportunities to make more money. That would be a good idea. And that is because you could be very systematic and thorough about that and rather determined. And if you have enough experience and you already have a good track record for steady effort, I would encourage you to go forward and really do your best right now, Capricorn. It could really pay off. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, there are no planets in the other air signs to support the Mars that is in your sign, and that Mars is really causing a lot of trouble right now because it is squaring 6 planets in the fixed financial signs. So you may be embroiled in some sort of money matter right now, and the tension and pressure could be escalating, and you might be the one that is making the temperature go up right now, or you could be involved in some sort of heated battle about money. You won't win it right now, Aquarius, and you don't have any backup because there are no other planets in the air signs. So my advice to you is the same as to Leo. You've got to lay low and don't fight with anybody right now, because you actually, even though you could be more concerned with money than justice, you may not be able to be really sure about having money coming to you and having it really end up in your pocket right now. And that's because Uranus is squaring that Mars in your sign, indicating a sudden change of fortune, which could happen to you, Aquarius. And if it did happen, whether it was for good or ill, there would be fights about it. And that is what you need to stay out of. So I hope you're just real quiet right now. Do yourself a favor and don't make comments on anything right now, Aquarius. Seek peace of mind if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when you can very much be concerned more with justice than with money. The full moon and Uranus in Taurus were actually sextiling your sun. There could be an opportunity to make more money or be around other, or have an investment that is paying off well, or increasing in value. That would be good, Pisces. But actually the 4 planets in Scorpio are trining Neptune in your sign. And that simply means that you could be much more concerned with making sure that justice is done, that hidden plans and covert activities are exposed and ended, so that trust can be restored and you, your family, and your country can feel safer. And so you may be instrumental in sort of making sure that the truth comes out. And that would be a good idea, Pisces, because justice and truth and trust all go together. And we all cannot get too far without them. So you'd be doing yourself and others a favor if you really were exposing the truth right now and making sure that justice was done. You'd be an angel. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show, read our blog, and hear our podcast on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.